Welcome to coverage of the Mustang Cup USA here at Sebring International Raceway. It's a beautiful weekend for some racing, some thundering V8 Dark Horse R race cars around one of the bumpiest circuits in North America. The start of a new season is upon us, and it's time for the first Miles Cup race of 2026. I'm Joey Atterbury, and joining me in the booth is Series Manager Sean Sermony. Well, Sean, it's finally the time to get going for the new season and also a new track for these competitors.
Well, you tell you what, it's super exciting here. You know, we started in year number 2 here. Last year it was in the series when it's in its infancy. This year it's year number 2. We're going to some different tracks, as you can see here. This iconic raceway, it is 17 turns, 3.74 miles long, and it's not just your average road course, Joey. It's rough. It's bumpy. The steering wheel's getting knocked out of the guy's hands. I was watching all the way around the track here during practice and qualifying. These cars are up and down. It's almost as if there's elevation changes in the track because some of these bumps are so big here. So as you look here, they go down into turn number 1. It's a hard 90-degree right in through turn 3 and 4. And then they just let that V8 horsepower eat all the way down into turn number 7. 10, 13, get very, very technical, and then when they come back around onto the back stretch, that's where they really, really eat. It's really impressive to see these guys get the power of the ground. This is big, loud American horsepower, V8 horsepower here in these Ford Mustang Dark Horse R's. And speaking about big horsepower, we may just possibly have a couple new sheriffs in town after watching qualifying, Joey.
It'll be very interesting to see how this new field sorts itself out. But let's take a look at our starting grid for the day. This is our first Miles Cup race of 2026, and I believe this is Logan Adams who's going to be leading us in that Dark Horse class. Steve Luca is going to be in second place with Craig Capaldi in third. Levitas here in fourth with Cale Buell rolling off in fifth place. Loess is in sixth place with Nick Smither rolling off in seventh. Clark back here in eighth. And then also Andrew Hordes rolling off from the 9th position. Miller Richmond in 10th. Paolo Salvatore in 11th in our classic class. That's that green identification on the number plate. Elliott rolling off from 12th. And Chase McFarland rolling off from 13th. Our 13-car deep field. I love seeing all of the new entries here, Sean.
Exciting.
It has grown quite a bit from 2025. And a lot of new faces, but also a lot of returning faces as well.
Yeah, it absolutely is. You know, it's been a lot of great people coming together as one here, from Ford, from USAC, from all these different race teams to get this 13-car field, and it's going to continue to grow. I feel as though as the season goes on, I'll be very surprised to not be starting to see 20 or more as the series rolls on here. Also, in conjunction with having our classic cars involved, like you said there with Paolo Salvatore, he's the only one that's out there in a classic, but there's several different Mustangs from 10, 12 years ago. They're allowed to race in their own class at the same time as the Dark Horse R's are out here. And the difference is a couple different things. One of them that's different, I'm curious to see how it goes on this track that's still somewhat wet in some areas, but Paolo Salvatore, he's running the Yokohama DOTs, and all the rest of them are running slick. So if we get any more rain, well, that's going to be a good up for Paulo in his classic car. If it stays dry, time will tell here. But all in all, it's a great field. A lot of new competitors, a lot of new talent, and of course, then you've got our series champions in the Legends class as well, from Capaldi and Smither as well.
And we are doing our 2 full pace laps here at Sebring International Raceway. Now, we did have some weather roll through the area just about, call it 30, maybe 45 minutes ago. We had another racing series out here on the racetrack and actually had a little bit of a red flag condition because, as you can see, it's a beautiful sunny day here in Central Florida. However, if you see those clouds, those are kind of pop-up rain showers. No thunderstorms that we've really seen, knock on wood, here in the commentary booth.
But he literally just knocked on wood.
Yes,
yeah,
we do.
Yes,
yep.
He did.
But, we want to keep all the competitors safe. And as we see here, it's a dry racetrack now. We saw a little bit of spray on the back side of the racetrack on the Ullman Straight over there. But I like that the 2 safety car laps allow the competitors to go out there and really feel it out. Where are the wet sections? Where are the dry sections? Yep. Where do I need to tiptoe? Where do I need to be careful? And where can I be aggressive?
And, I hate to sound like a broken record here, but in between the wet and then it being so rough. These cars out here, they get light, they get heavy, they get light, they get heavy. And what I mean by that, for those that are listening at home, is, with these rough sections and the bumps and things, and you're going through corners, a lot of times all of a sudden, you're going through, you start losing traction. Then you start gaining traction. You can hear it when you're listening to the cars and practice and qualifying. Then you throw some puddles in the mix. And then you've really got something to talk about here. But I know we've both been here quite a few times, but welcome to Florida, because it was beautiful. Then it absolutely downpoured a cold, cold rain. Now it's more humid than I can even explain to you, and the track's drying out, and all of this has happened within 15 minutes.
You're right. It really has been a very rapid change of weather, and right back to where the sun was about 45 minutes ago. But you bring up a very interesting point. So these are big, heavy V8 cars, yes, and they make their way around at a rapid pace around all of these racetracks. But with that humidity level and the ambient air temperature still being in the mid-80s, I'm sure these drivers are going to have their work cut out for them today.
Without a doubt. It's so humid. It's so hot. And these cars here, as we are looking like we're getting ready to go here.
Well, I was just pointing out, too, that so our race is 40 minutes plus 1 lap, but since this is a second pace lap, they've actually started the race. So our timer is actually going right now. That's really what I wanted to identify to all of our viewers out there, that, yes, we are still under a safety car condition, but, yes, the race has started.
And here's the thing with this, Joe. Maybe you've seen it, but with all the different races with sprint-style races like this is with our Porsche races and with our Ford races, when I say sprint, I mean quick, like 30, 40-minute races that are timed. So it's not by laps, it's by time, then plus the 1 lap at the end, which we'll explain to you later on and once we get going here. I've yet to see one start like this almost under caution with the safety car out. I believe I understand why. I'm speculating right now, but from what I'm thinking right now is that our amazing team in race control is like, hey, safety is of the utmost importance.
Yes.
That's number one here.
Yep.
So as you were saying, the track is wet. Where's it wet? Track's rough. Where's their puddles? So we are under a timed limit, and that's just to keep the schedule going as well, because there's a lot of wonderful racing here all day long here at Sebring International Raceway. But what they're going to do is right now they took those at the extra lap under caution, ultimately to help dry the track up, get the guys a little more comfortable before they just set them out there and unleash them. But right now, Joey, the safety car is pulling in. We're 36 minutes and 20 seconds plus 1 lap, ready to go, and we are about to go green flag racing here at Sebring International Raceway for Mustang Cup USA round number 1.
That 86 car of Logan Adams jumps out front from the pole position, and he leads the field down through turn number 1. But look at how busy it is. That's the battle for third place. One of the cars scooting through on the inside. I think that's between Craig Capaldi, Cale Buell, and Steve Lucas. They're all going now 3 wide into turn number 3. You got to whoa up these dark horse R's.
Absolutely you do. Look at them already. Just 3 turns into the season. We're swapping paint early on, 3 wide. Are they going to get through clean? Yes, they do. Now they're going into a fast section down underneath the Mission Bridge. Wide open here, standing on the loud pedal, down into 7. Heavy, heavy braking coming up, Joey.
Yes, and you got to jump on the brakes hard with this brake pedal pressure here at turn number 7. Love seeing all these cars smack right on the racing line. Get it slowed up for the slowest corner on the racetrack right there, the hairpin turn. Turn number 7, and then it is up through that H-pattern gearbox all the way to turn 10.
I love it. You don't hear that H-pattern gearbox a whole lot out of commentary anymore, and we've got some competitors that are just getting used to that style. Look, we got one diving to the inside. Maybe a little contact. I don't know how clean it was. Bounce back a little bit. This is a lot of car physically on the track here. They take up a lot of space, and a lot of times in these Mustang Dark Horse R's, if you want to overtake someone, you want to make a pass, you might just have to get a little bit physical. Then you throw in a little bit of rain and puddles in a rough track, Joey.
Yeah, well, you got to remember, these cars are, 3,400 plus pounds with a ton of horsepower in the front. We're pumping out over 500 horsepower out of these 5-liter machines, and this is Michael Levitas right now getting a lot of pressure from, this is Chris Clark, I believe, in the number 9 car, literally almost pushing him through turn number 16 here at Sebring, and you see directly behind as well, Nick Smither already having to go on the defensive, but look at this spray.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is unnerving on dry tires for all the competitors.
You know, I'm very surprised to see that spray. I guess apparently that's on the backside of the track where we're not seeing, we're looking out at the front stretch. It's much wetter in the back, so they've got dry on half the track, wet on the other. And then look at that pass right there. We're looking at two competitors that are brand new to this series with Levitas and Clark. Clark just getting the best of Levitas right there coming around turn 17. Levitas coming out of a lot of Porsche racing, now having a great time in these Dark Horse R's. Clark as well as a new competitor, but by watching him, look at Clark trying to go around the outside. There is so much new talent in 2026, Joey. It's outrageous.
Yeah, that was an aggressive move around the outside of Cale Buell in that white and green number 8 car. Now, Cale is one of these familiar competitors from 2025, and he competes in that Dark Horse class. We do have multiple classes out here this year, and it actually looks like maybe Craig Capaldi a little bit on the back foot as well. I think I see Clark going around in the number 9 car. That white 68 seems to be maybe just a touch off the pace down this bending straightaway, but he's on the racing line. He's downshifting just fine from what we see. I wonder if he maybe just missed a gear going through the box.
It's very possible. We know Capaldi. We know he's fast. He's quick. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to get a Mustang around the track and has been doing it for a long time. I'm so blown away right now by Clark. It's a matter of, on the inside, the outside, if it's a 90-degree turn, this is a sweeper, he doesn't, and I mean this with all the utmost respect, he doesn't care. He's just going around cars. And honestly, in practices and in qualifying, I didn't see that out of him. He seems so confident right now, and I didn't see that confidence early on in the day.
And I like that you bring up that point because there's so many different drivers out there. And when it comes down to racing, you need to have racecraft. Yeah. Not everybody has the racecraft to go out there and wheel-to-wheel, battle pass next to each other, door-to-door.
Yep.
And some people are great at being out there and lapping. I think I see a little bit of a full course yellow. Oh, no. We were mentioning that mixed weather that we just had not long ago, and unfortunately there is lightning in the area, so we have been forced to go full course yellow. And as we kind of bring everybody back down to that safety car speed and back into pit lane, I just want to highlight one of these cars. The number 86 car, I think is having a little bit of a transponder issue, so it kind of bounces up and down the order, but Logan Adams was our pole sitter.
Yep.
He jumped out front, and I mean, the first lap time was literally 5 seconds faster than the rest of the field.
Yeah.
I mean, he was completely out of frame. We weren't even talking about him.
Yep.
I mean, what a start for Logan Adams.
Yeah, okay, so Logan Adams, this is how good you're doing, young man. We almost forgot you're out there. Joey, I don't want to say for you, but for me, we were watching such great racing. I kind of just forgot that he was in the mix. He was just out there giving it to it. And so, when you're fast enough and talented enough where you're so far out front so quickly, and one of the commentators just forgets you're there, that's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive stuff. Hey, let's also, it's what I'm really excited about is Logan Clark. He's in practice, he was fast right off the bat, but, he wasn't right on top. He was getting faster and faster in practice and qualifying, and then it's almost like Clark and a couple others they were holding something back. They had something in the bag, and so they had something they were handing in the bag. And I don't know if maybe there's racecraft as you were talking about on the track. You got to know how to get around people, feel comfortable. You got to heel toe. You got to know what's going on. But there's also some other forms of it. And the racecraft is almost mind games a little bit.
Yes, 100%.
And so, I'm curious if, someone like Clark or Adams. Clark is a little bit older. Adams is younger. Clark's been around quite a while. I wonder if Clark is almost okay, listen, I feel real comfortable. I feel good. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag.
Well, and also, we're not necessarily monitoring the practice conditions, so some cars could be on sticker tires.
Yeah, sure.
Some drivers could be opting to be on the more used stuff. And if you asked me when I was a competitor, I always wanted to be on the used stuff because guess what? You don't win a race on lap number 1. You win a race at the final lap, and you need to have the car to handle the best. And so therefore, I want the worn out tires. But that doesn't necessarily represent your fastest pace out there,
Yeah.
which goes to your point that, yeah, there could have been some cards still being in the pocket out here, but for everybody watching, we are under red flag for the Lightning in the area. But, Sean, that kind of gives us a little bit of a chance to talk more about the series itself, right?
Yeah.
Because this is a great, wonderful series, and it's a little bit different in how it's formatted. We actually have 2 championships here on a given weekend. We're racing the Miles Cup race here today, but we also have the Parnelli Cup race tomorrow.
Yeah, which is very cool. And the idea of that is, and we'll explain this to you, is that, you know, to get people involved in the Ford pyramid of racing. And Mustang Cup is very much part of the Ford pyramid racing. You have your club level racing, then you have your Mustang Cup, and then you get into your Mustang Challenge, which is the next level, and it goes up and up to the very top, or at the very echelon of racing. So that being said, to get into Cup racing, this is your first level of professional racing. So if you're coming out of club racing or different things, or things of that nature,
that feeds into the classic class too.
It does, absolutely. Yeah. And so this is your first opportunity to get into a professional series. Now, when you're doing that, it could be a little daunting. Your budget is going to have to be a little bigger. In order to do that and be successful and have fun, because that's number one, is having a good time. Well, it's always, for me anyways, I'm a firm believer in motorsports. It's supposed to be fun. That's why we're here, right? So it's always supposed to be fun. But so what it is, we do the Miles Cup on day 1. We do the Parnelli Cup on day 2. They all get the same amount of track time on each day, but it gives you an opportunity to come in with a friend or whatever and split a car. You could buy it, you could rent it, and split, and end up just splitting that car. So you can come in, instead of spending all the money yourself, you do it with a buddy. You go out and go racing. You get to race one day, he gets to race the next. You get to race for a season-long championship. Your friend gets to race for a season-long championship, and it's a great way to do it. So right now,
well, and yes, we do get these cars pulling down pit lane right now, and I know that we do have the weather in the area. I think we're just still waiting on final bits from race control to see exactly how everything. But let's talk about the classes that we've got here, because we've got the Dark Horse class, we've also got the Dark Horse Legends class, and then the addition of the Classic class here as well.
Yeah, really exciting with the Classic class. And also, let's keep in mind, not just the Classics, but we've got our Legends and our regular Dark Horse R's, and that's done by age groups, which is a little crazy because some of these, I can't say old guys anymore because I'm 50. Right.
Well, I mean, Craig, right? Craig is in the Dark Horse Legends.
I'm a legend only because I would be in that class. But some of those legends are on the gas, man. Really, really good. So, anyways, it's broken up by age. But then, as far as we get into our classic cars, and it's the 302 Boss, the 550, a lot of these amazing cars that are out there, and that's an opportunity for, other than, it's been years since they've really had a place to truly go racing for the most part at a lower level professional manner. And so there's a lot of those cars out there. And so we're going after those people. And when I say we, I mean Ford, United States Auto Club, and Mustang Cup. And so anyone out there that has one of these cars, and if you want to go to MustangCup.com, it'll give you all the information on it, tell you all about what you need to do, what's going on with it. And we have such an amazing series here, and we have these awesome classic cars that have an opportunity to go to some of the most iconic raceways around the United States, from here in Sebring, which, oh man, we all know this is the home of endurance racing here in the United States. And you go to Sebring, and we get to go to Road America, which is one of my very favorites, and Barber Motorsports, and VIR, Virginia International Raceway, and Michelin Raceway. And now you have an opportunity. Maybe these are tracks you've been watching on TV, you've never been to. Maybe you've been to a few times, and you're out there with the camper having fun. You wish you could get out there in the car on the track. And now you're like, whoa, wait, I have one of those cars. And you can make that happen and come on out. You could have one of those cars with a buddy and get one cheaper and less expensive than a brand new Dark Horse R, and go classic racing. And you can chase down your championship title in the Mustang Cup by doing that in the Miles Cup. And then your buddy can hop in it and do it in the Parnelli Cup. So right now, the way we're doing it, it's a matter of growing motorsports, growing the opportunity. And I've had a lot of different interviews and talks with different marketing people and with Ford and things, and everybody's talking about the different incentives to do this. And for me, it's not incentives. We are giving an opportunity to go out at a lower budget in a professional series and safely have an absolute time of your life. That's what we offer. But it's not the time of my life. The news you're about to give them, Joey. I'm very excited.
Yeah, as you can see from our onboard shots here, unfortunately, we have finished the race. So when we have a lightning strike in the area, we have to make sure that all of the personnel are down from the grandstands, that everybody is at a safe area, as well as making sure the competitors are completely safe. And we basically have a 30-minute downtime that we have to make sure there's no more lightning in the area. Unfortunately, that means our first race of the year is already over, really kind of before it started over here for the Miles Cup here in 2026. But, Sean, we still have tomorrow to look forward to, and that is super exciting Parnelli Cup race, which we will get going.
And just one thing I want to add to what you're saying about the weather. Folks, the way it works here, the ones in the cars racing, they're probably the safest ones out there, rubber to the ground, but the way it is in motorsports almost around the globe is within a certain amount of miles. When there's lightning, you have to shut it down.
Yes.
That's just the way it is. And it's a bummer. It's only happened a handful of times over the years for me. But what I'm really bummed out more than anything, I was honestly enjoying that. I was having a good time. Joey, I'm working with you for a few minutes here right off the bat. I was enjoying it. The racing was great. I love these cars. I absolutely love these Dark Horse R cars. And I can't wait to get back here with you tomorrow as we get ready to go green flag racing tomorrow. And it's going to be qualifying we're going to have in the morning. You won't get to see that, but we're going to give you the highlights of it at 8:30. Then at 1:55 p.m., we're going to rock and roll. We're going to wave the second green flag of the season here for 2026 right here at Sebring International Raceway for Mustang Cup USA. I can't wait to get right back here in the booth with you. We're going to go green to checkered. I can feel it.
Yep, I feel it too. And until then, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you at the track.